So Cape Town grade 12 learner Thimna Ntlanga says she's excited about the prospect of receiving the COVID-19 vaccine. In fact, she looks forward to social outings with her friends after writing her final matric exams. Thimna's also looking forward to a normal school schedule, she says, when going back, or rather when school-going children are finally vaccinated. For more on her thoughts, let's bring her in. She joins us now via our video link to share a bit more about her experience during a pandemic-disrupted schooling period. Thimna, it's lovely to see you. Thank you so much for making time to speak to us here on Newzroom Afrika. You've taken the bold decision to get a COVID-19 vaccine now that your cohort is finally allowed to do so. Tell us a bit more about why you've decided to do this.
Well, thank you for having me and good morning to you. So the reason why I want to take the COVID-19 vaccine is because I'm still a teenager, right? So I don't really adhere to the social or COVID-19 rules such as, keeping the mask and maintaining the 1.5 meter distance. So in order for me to comply more with the regulations of COVID-19, the least that I can do is to take the COVID vaccine, right? So that I can at least protect my loved ones, and as a way of me trying to, contribute to the fact that probably schools will go back to normal since we had a real disruption or since we had a difficult time due to COVID-19. So the least that I can do is to actually take the COVID-19 vaccine as a teenager, and also to protect my loved ones. Also because as a teenager, I travel, I go out with friends. Sometimes I stay at late night. And then when I come back home, I haven't adhered to all the social COVID rules, and I don't know who has the COVID, who does not have the COVID. So the least I can do is to protect my mom, by taking the shot, because as teenagers, we're the barriers, or we are the one who carry out the COVID thing, So it's important for me to get a vaccine, so I know at least that I'm safe and also my loved ones are safe.
Well, Thimna, hopefully taking this step will also, I guess, give you enough resolve to also follow all the COVID-19 protocols, including wearing your mask and keeping your social distance. I imagine you are trying your best to adhere to those regulations as well, right?
Yes, I try my best.
Oh, absolutely. All right. So, what's interesting, of course, is that there are some teenagers still who are a bit worried about the COVID-19 vaccine, especially because there's a conversation around whether or not your parents should give you permission to do so, to get this jab. What kind of conversation did you have with your parents before making your decision?
Well, my mom usually used to say to me, you should take the vaccine because you travel, you stay out more often, because as a grade 12 learner, I do course night, I do studies at certain places. So during those places, we do not actually have a sanitizer and we do not actually wear a mask because it's very hard for us to communicate while wearing a mask, and it's very hard for us to maintain a social distance while we're studying, and it's a course night. So you would usually get one room or a room perhaps to study. So for us to maintain those marks or for us to do all of that, it's highly impossible. So my mom was like, I'm not going to force you to take the vaccine, but I'm going to influence the decision of you to take the vaccine, And I kept telling her, no, I'm underage and all of that. So now she's like, okay, since 17 to 12-year-olds are allowed to take vaccine, you should be the first one because you know that you travel more often than I do. And the chances of you getting COVID-19 are higher than mine level. Yeah. So I was like, okay, perhaps I could try this vaccine thing. So I was like, at first, no, man, let me just see you turn into a zombie. So, I can know at least I'm safe.
Sure. Speak to us about, I guess, the message that you think should be sent out to some of your peers who are still worried about getting a COVID-19 vaccine. You sound very resolved. You sound very sure in your actions, I assume, in the next couple of hours. What would you say to some of your classmates who are still a bit scared of getting a COVID-19 jab?
I would say we live with parents, and our parents are our everyday world, or perhaps they are everything. So it's not only about you, but it's also about the people you live with, your loved ones, your family, your friends. So for you not to take the vaccine or for you to be hesitant about the vaccine, it's highly, I don't want to say inappropriate, but think of others when you say you don't want to take the shot, because you live with people at the end of the day. You socialize with people. So it's not only about you, but it's about the environment that you're in. So it's highly important for us teens to take the vaccine because we are the ones who often like to go out more, like to travel, like to do things, go to art galleries. So important for us to actually take the vaccine because we don't know when we might have it, and perhaps us traveling a lot, us doing things or activities, they could highly impact the people that we live in, because others live with grandmothers, others would live with moms who are like at the age or the risk of getting the COVID. So the least you could do is to take the vaccine and try to adhere to the social distancing, the wearing of masks. So the least I could say is that think about the environment, think about your loved one, think about the people that you truly love and you don't want to lose due to your
Got you. Due to the environment you're in, and I guess the contribution you'd be making in keeping everybody safe. And of course, matriculants are the first to get the COVID-19 vaccine, and government is telling us it's because they're trying to make sure that you are given enough space to prepare for the final matric exams. How's that going?
Well, at first we were writing during the trial exams, right? So we got forms at school, and people would sign. If you do not want the vaccine, you would state you do not want the vaccine. If you want the vaccine, you would state that you truly want the vaccine and no one forced you to do so, So during that time, I was sort of hurt because I also wanted to take the vaccine, but they kept saying that you're under 18, so you can't really get a vaccine, and all of that. So I felt like, okay, we were excluded, but now that we're given an opportunity to do so, I'm going to jump at it. I'm not going to lie.
Sure. How has the preparations for your final exams been going during this period? I mean, at the start of our discussion, I mentioned how this has been a pandemic-disrupted schooling period for you and many of your peers. In what ways has it, I guess, impacted your ability to prepare for your finals?
Well, we still have time to prepare for the finals.
True.
The least that we do, the teachers still call us at school to, do some revision and stuff. But it's up to us now because we're done with the syllabus at school, so we're no longer attending school, but instead we attend school when a teacher calls us. So as grade 12 learners, we, mix up with other schools as well, with other children in school. And then we do not mix up as friends because when you mix up as friends to study, that's where the problem lies because you're not going to study. It's just going to be laughter all night and all of that. So we mix up with other geniuses from other school, people like average learners and also high learners. So, we mix up and we really study during the time because that first night is not really working for us because one might say, my curfew time is at 10, and that's where we start at 10 to study. So I also get tired between the time of 1 and 2, so I'm like, I'm just going to sleep. So during the evening, in the afternoon, that's where we really study. And when we study, one has another opinion about how this is done and how this is done. So it's much more easier to understand what you didn't understand when the teacher taught in class,
Gotcha.
As when we come in massive groups, that's where we really get to understand because you realize, I didn't understand this. Oh, I thought I knew this, but I did not. So this is how it's done, It's
Sure. Thimna, you're reminding me of how busy life felt when I was in grade 12 myself. So thank you very much for that description. Very soon, you'll be vaccinated. Very soon, the matric exams will be behind you. What are you hoping happens next? What do you want to become?
Very soon, let's say I'm 1% of the population that does not know what they want to do after high school. But during this, as an economic student, it taught me that in South Africa, you do not study for what you want, but for what the economy has to offer you. So for me, that I still want to get distinctions in Ghana and some badges here and there. But hey, during COVID.
No, listen, we all put our trust in you. If our discussion is anything to go by, you'll be absolutely fine. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Really appreciate it. Thimna Ntlanga is a grade 12 pupil resolved in her decision to get a COVID-19 vaccine now that cohort is finally able to come through to get their jab. Thimna, once again, thanks very much indeed.